Hey, it's Mark, and welcome back to the next edition of the Employee Survival Guide. Today, I want to talk to you about my use of cases, legal cases, in your podcast episodes you listen to. The reason why I use cases is because I'm trying to allow you to access real stories about friends and neighbors and people you would read about that are not otherwise accessible. I can access them because I have a database that I pay for, but you don't. When you search the internet, you cannot locate the case decisions that I read every day, that the judges read every day. And I wanted to provide access to them. And initially, I thought about, well, I'll just create a script for them, and it's time consuming. So I use AI to, and I make no qualms about it. I use AI, but here's what I do. I actually will find cases by searching Westlaw, and I will find case decisions where the employee was successful. Now, later on, I'll choose cases where the employee was not successful so you can see the compare and contrast. But currently, I'm using cases where the employee, let's say the case was about age discrimination, just choosing one topic. But as you know, cases have multiple claims. They can have age and gender and the like. So I research them, I find them, and then I do something extra special because I want the production of the podcast episode that you're going to listen to. I want you to hear the actual facts. And so I'll grab the complaint or the amended complaint from the docket itself, from the federal court. I'll grab the answer. I'll even grab the memorandums of law in support and against the motion to dismiss or summary judgment filed in the case. And then I'll also include the court's decision on that motion. I will also include a Court of Appeals decision if I find it, and even a Supreme Court decision. And I'll include them all into the production of the episode so that when you hear it, what you're hearing is a synopsis of the basic essence of facts, the issue of law, and what the takeaway is and how you can benefit from it. And why I'm doing that is because there's no other way for you as the general public to access this level of information. Now, why is it important to access information to learn about, employment issues you might face at work? It's because that's what lawyers and judges do. Well, you don't know this, but unless you went to law school, in law school, you're faced with, huge books filled with just case decisions, and we read them. And later in life and practice, lawyers and judges, we still read case decisions because that's what the law is. Just one case story after another, following principles of law, statutes, etc. But they're just narratives of people's real life conflicts. And I'm trying to provide you access to the case information so you can take away information from what's happened in them and relate them to your lives. And so that when you have a conflict at work, you'll have familiarity with the issue because you've already listened to it or you saw it on a YouTube video. And that's the purpose of what I'm trying to do with this part of the podcast and channel on YouTube, is to give you access to the actual case decisions, real life stories. There's a beginning, middle, and end. There's high drama. There's a lot of negative and pejorative and words used that I wouldn't utter here. But the courts use and don't shield the case facts from what people actually do and say to each other. And so you hear the raw essence of the case, and you can build a level of experience when you're at work, you'll be able to figure out, like, what are the options I have? And because you're building up a database of resources of learned knowledge through this podcast episodes, and you'll be able to figure out what you need to do. And obviously, I'm trying to put things into your possession that allows you to make decisions on your own without using an attorney. That's the whole point of all this, giving you access to what is otherwise not accessible. That's not the way it should be. I believe the law and the information should be accessible to you. And so that's the purpose of using all these case decisions that I put into the podcast episodes. And let me just talk about the nuance of AI in the project I'm working on. When you search your podcast platform like Apple or Spotify, you can type in the word age discrimination, or you can type in the word sexual harassment. Any word. These words are being picked up, not only in the keyword sense, and you type them in like a Google search, but they're also being picked up now in the AI sense, that the AI platforms for Apple and Spotify are in fact using the audio to grab the terms from the actual audio that's being spoken. And so it's becoming much more richer. And so I'm aiming to provide a level of detail of case information through and allow these platforms to pick up using AI just to better serve you in what you're trying to use this podcast for. essentially trying to learn, more about how you protect yourself at a job and prevent discrimination from happening, or what to do when it does happen, or go through a severance negotiation. So I'm really trying to get in depth with these cases, give you access to them in a way that you not otherwise get access to them. And otherwise, you'd have the only other way, if you ask the question, is simply you'd have to pay for them through a paywall, through like Westlaw, a subscription service. Well, I already have that. It's public information. Courts are public. So this is a very creative way for me to give you access. Again, do your search when you use if you're searching for information as you do on the web. You can also search your Apple Podcast platform, even on this channel for the Employee Survivor Guide. You can search and type things in, because I'm actually inputting the data that way. If you're searching for a non-compete, you would find information, an episode regarding non-compete. Please use the podcast platform that way, and we're just trying to get creative here to provide more information for you, along with the other topics we come out with. But that's the purpose of using cases. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll continue to do it. And by the way, there are thousands upon thousands of cases. I mean, I'm not kidding. There are thousands of cases, and I try to select the best ones so that provide examples for you. So it's a rich environment. It's going to get richer. And until next time, thank you very much.